When I was in second grade, a younger student who I didn't know at all came up to me at recess and asked, "Are you Chinese?" I said, "No." "Are you Japanese?" "No." "Then what are you?" I said, "I'm Korean." Now, I wasn't wrong, but I'd say I was only partially correct, because even though ethnically I am Korean, culturally I identify completely as an American. Now, over the past few years, I've wondered, what does it mean to be an American? What's the basis for our cultural identity? This past summer, I went looking to find out. Over the course of 7 weeks, I traveled 9,733 miles on the Amtrak network, visiting places from the common to the obscure. New Orleans, Louisiana; Sacramento, California; Wells, Maine; Malvern, Arkansas. And along the way, I had the chance to meet a wonderful variety of individuals who on the outset are all American, but in reality represent vastly different cross-sections of life. Let me give you a few examples. In the dark night, deep in the countryside of the Mississippi Delta, I had the chance to attend a truck race that makes NASCAR look like go-karts. These self-described, quote, rednecks drive hundreds of miles to race these enormous pickup trucks that they've outfitted with roll cages and then powered with these enormous, powerful, custom-made engines that cost upwards of $80,000. They race over 150 trucks, just 2 at a time, going from 0 to 90 miles an hour on 100-yard strips of pure Mississippian mud. I tried desperately, really desperately, to get in the passenger seat of one of these trucks, and even though I was unsuccessful, I found that all of these people were kind, genuine, and welcoming, if not a little confused as to why I was there. Up north, I met a formerly world-renowned Austrian chef by the name of Hermann Suzz, who at one point was the head chef for the royal family of Nepal. But then he fell in love with a beautiful woman and moved to her hometown of Little Cadillac, Michigan. The most interesting thing about Herman, or Chef, as they affectionately call him, is that he has a deep distrust of the current financial system, the American financial system. So he splits his savings into thirds. With the first third, he will invest in a traditional retirement account. With his second third, he puts it back into his business, which is a restaurant, fittingly. And with the final third, this is the best part, Chef buys physical gold bars that he keeps locked in a safe at his house. Out west, I met this long-haired dude named Trace. He was wearing a straw hat, a pink shirt, and he was walking this chocolate lab named Oprah Winfrey. Now, Trace is the co-founder of Voodoo Donuts, which is an absolute must-see for anyone visiting Portland, Oregon. You know it. Voodoo Donuts is open 24/7. They always have a line that goes from the counter, out the door, and around the block. Always. And they sell over 15,000 pounds of donut every week, from a shop that is tiny. It's no bigger than maybe 1.5 times the size of this stage right here. Yet despite this, Trace, who once ran for mayor of Portland, refuses to expand his shop on site because upstairs is low-income housing, and Trace refuses to be the guy that gentrifies his own neighborhood. One of the biggest stereotypes of the American identity is this idea of frontierism. We tend to think that the next great adventure is somewhere far off in the distant horizon. Tonight, I want to challenge that notion and ask, what do we miss when we treat huge swaths of our country, like the Midwest, like the Deep South, as flyby zones or forgettable remnants of the past? What do we miss when we try to drive from Middlebury to New York City in under 4 hours, or from Middlebury to Boston in under 3, excuse me? The next time you try and plan something or think about doing something like taking the overnight train from Rome to Paris, I urge you to pause and consider the magic you could find right here in our own backyard if you just took a train American. Thank you very much.